I've been getting a lot of questions asking me if I could explain what happened between myself and Finn McKenty. And to tell you the truth, it didn't go exactly the way that I wanted or the way that I expected. So today, allow me to explain myself, okay? But before I do, I'm going to explain who I am. My name is Dan Frampton. I run this YouTube channel. This YouTube channel is called Dan Frampton. It's all one word, the O's a zero. And I mostly talk about punk rock. If that sounds vaguely interesting to you, why don't you like? Why don't you subscribe? If you think what I do is utter nonsense by the end of it, you can take those away. You can subtract your likes. But if by the end of it you're like, you know what? I want to give this clown some money. Well, then you can join the secret society because I have interesting stuff that I put up for members only, okay? So you can get videos, emojis, and badges and that kind of thing all behind the paywall. So without any further ado, let's explain the Finn McKenty arc. Now, people don't realize that this goes back 4 years, okay? I have 11 videos that chronicle the history between myself and Finn McKenty. Now, Finn McKenty has always been like the tippy top of this like punk rock commentary community. And 4 years ago, I wasn't in the punk rock commentary community. I was just like listening to punk rock as I normally do, but also trying to do my own thing on the internet. And I was talking about other creators at the time. I was talking about the best video creators out there and why I like them so much. And what I did was I did like improvised acoustic songs about these creators. And the first video I did was one of these improvised acoustic songs about how brilliant Finn McKenty was. So I was recognizing that this guy is kind of the top of the top, okay? Now there's not a whole lot of storyline being written yet. I'm still just trying to get my feet wet. I don't really know how to make videos. I'm still just trying things out. There's nothing really intentional about this video, this first one that I do about Finn McKenty. I'm just trying to do a thing, maybe get a little bit of attention along the way, and maybe learn a thing or two. And I think I learned a thing or two, and a year later, I made another video about the guy when he and Glenn Fricker did a video together. Now these guys are older type gentlemen, okay? And I was asking the question, how old is too old to be a YouTuber? And by the time I start to make a second video about Finn McKenty, my brain starts to do the nerdy thing that my brain just naturally does, and it tries to serialize what's going on. I want to see character development. I want to see change. I want to see character growth, you know what I mean? From episode to episode. So from this one, I'm like starting to put it together. Okay, how am I going to keep talking about this? Where is this narrative going to go? And this is where the narrative starts to kind of take fold, where I am like the student and he is the sensei, okay? This is kind of like an anime arc, you know what I mean? Where I'm trying to learn everything I can from the master out there. So I watched the master in an interview with Fat Mike. You know what I mean? And I'm like, oh my God, is this going to be awkward? What's going to be going on here? And I'm still kind of like very much on Finn McKenty's side. But as you see, the tone is gradually starting to get a little bit more negative as we go down. It starts off, Finn McKenty is brilliant. And then, is he too old to be a YouTuber? And then, awkward, right? So it's starting to get a little bit more negative every time. The seeds of sorrow, I mean, like the seeds of doubt are being planted in here a little bit. You know what I mean? And then by the time I get to the fourth video, we're already 4 years into this narrative. And by this video, it's clear to me that I'm trying to build like a character arc here. I'm trying to tell a story, you know what I mean? As subtle as it may be, that's what's going on here. And so in this video, how to ruin music for yourself, I basically just show a couple different YouTubers and the things that they do that would ruin music for you. I also say like starting a band would ruin music for you. I think also in the video I say like listening to music is going to ruin music for you. I forget the actual list, but Finn McKenty made it on to that list, okay? And I thought that it was all tongue-in-cheek. I thought it was all fun. I thought everybody could tell that this was still kind of like a little bit of a joke going on, right? But that's when Finn McKenty sends me a DM. And this DM is very positive in nature, you know what I mean? He tells me that he's gonna watch this video on stream with his audience. But you know what? he doesn't end up doing that. He doesn't end up watching it with his audience. So now the student is looking at the sensei like the sensei just lied to the student. Now the student is starting to question things. The student is starting to go around, starting to open closets, all right? And then I open the closet only to find a whole bunch of people calling him like a red-pilled groomer on Twitter or whatever. So I, in my whole like anime arc brain, try to throw him some lobs, you know what I mean? Some softballs so he can crank them out of the park. I'm giving him something to respond to, you know what I mean? There's a lot of like fallacies in this video. There's a lot of things that aren't strong arguments. There's a lot of straw man stuff going on in this video that I made. And it was all intentional because he said he was gonna watch it with his audience, but then didn't watch it with his audience. So now I was giving him something to combat, you know what I mean? Something to at least talk about that wasn't just all memes. Because the music ruiner thing was just all memes and there was no like substance there. There was no meat on the bone. So I was like, okay, what if I put some meat on this bone? So that's what I did. I just pulled up a couple guys that called him a couple bad names, and I said that these people were calling him this sort of stuff. He doesn't have the squeaky clean image that you guys think that he has, okay? So in my mind, this could have went in one of two ways, and I was gonna capitalize on either of those ways to keep telling this story, you know? It could have went the way that he responded to this point by point and drove me to the ground, because I made a video to deliberately be driven into the ground. I painted myself into the corner to be the bad guy, you know what I mean? Because I'm out here ruffling feathers and starting drama. Already, that's a bad look. So already he could have said, what are you doing taking these pot shots at me? These are low blows. This isn't even true. You don't need to trust these false guys on Twitter. How do you know that these guys are even saying the real thing? You know what I mean? There were so many things that he could have said against what I was saying in this video. So the second way I was prepared to handle this was him ignoring it. And both of those routes would have like led to the end of this feud, or at least the end of this chapter of it anyway. You know what I mean? But he didn't go down either of those roads. What he did is he hit my video with a privacy complaint, which made YouTube email me saying if I don't take down this video or take down the privacy complaint, you know what I mean, then they're gonna take down my video. Then he went into my DMs and left me like a storybook and like, oh, I have a kid coming. Oh, me and my wife don't need this. Just guilt trip, guilt trip, guilt trip. And I was like, dude, none of this was real. All of this was supposed to be a joke, and you could have just like made this public and like made me out to be a total nonce. You know what I mean? You had the opportunity to make me publicly look like such a fool because I gave you that, and I was prepared to go with that. But you didn't do that, Finn. No, you didn't play games. You got real serious and acted like all these other posy bros on the internet. You acted like a K-pop stan with a Prince Albert, okay? So I don't need any of that kind of sensitivity. I thought this was all fun and games. So now you're like threatening to like take down stuff on my channel. You're pleading with me in the DMs, telling me to take down this stuff because your family doesn't deserve this right now, you know? And I'm like, dude, none of this was supposed to be that serious. And why are you taking it that serious? Are the accusations true? The only reason why this would be something that you'd react this way is if the accusations that I found on the internet were true and you were trying to hide them from people. Otherwise, you could have just like totally put it all out there and called me an idiot for like taking these pot shots and hitting you when you were down and all that sort of stuff. I was acting like a heel, like a total piece of shit, you know what I mean? Like, how can this student have the audacity? How can this student think that he has the britches big enough to stand up to the sensei? You know what I mean? But then that's when I realized this guy, all right, isn't the sensei, and now I went on the attack. I wasn't on the attack yet, but now this first video that I do here, Finn McKenty unironically loves Ronnie Radke, now I'm grouping my enemies together and he is officially an enemy of the channel, okay? Now normally I wouldn't be like he's a Ronnie Radke apologist and hold it against him as a part of like our feud, but that is exactly what I do in this video. And he's talking to M Shadows, who's another like big piece of crap, you know what I mean? So this video is so easy for me to just crap all over these dudes, you know what I mean? Because now they're officially enemies. But in my mind, this is still all just an anime arc. Because yes, I did take down this video according to what Finn McKenty wanted, but I knew there wasn't a privacy complaint held within, you know what I mean? I didn't give away his address. I didn't give away any legitimate information. I didn't break any privacy of his, you know what I mean? I was basically being a nuisance online to then be put in my place. You know what I mean? I was setting it up to be then shot down. But instead, he gave me 33 minutes worth of material of just roasting him non-stop. I ended up getting like 50,000 views off this guy just because he didn't know how to handle the situation. But then after the 72 hours that I had this video down, I put it back up because I was like, you know what I mean? I didn't break any of the privacy stuff. And yeah, it has a place on my channel. So there it is. You can still go watch it. And that video is exactly what I said it is. It isn't a strong video. There are so many straw man arguments held within this video that you might think I'm trying to scare a bunch of crows, okay? Here we are in this story, in this arc. He is now my enemy and I'm taking any shot that I can at this guy, but I'm also trying to tell my audience what is going on, you know what I mean? So I'm not breaking kayfabe, I'm staying in character, you know what I mean? And I'm doubling down on him sending me this privacy thing, and I'm just saying, you know what? You can't take a joke, you're going too crazy, I'm out of here, Finn McKenty. And then, out of the blue, all of a sudden, somebody messages me and says that he has an interview with Blair White. Now this is an opportunity that I cannot pass up, okay? So I do a whole live stream where I react to this interview. Then I break it down into its own little video. So as a character in this story, you know what I mean? I've gotten to the point where I said I'm so done, but then I did more stuff. So upon reflection, I'm thinking, oh my God, what have I done? You know what I mean? Maybe Finn McKenty doesn't need this energy in his life. And then I made an official apology video in the style of Colleen Ballinger, okay? Now, if this didn't make it clear that I was joking from beginning to end, I don't know what would. Even through all the privacy complaints and even through all those unhinged DMs that he was sending me, you know what I mean? This was all still character work, and this was all still just an arc on the story. Because like I said, my brain just naturally serializes something when there's multiple things involved. You know, I want it to be interesting from video to video, and I think that there really was growth and change through all these videos here. The only one that doesn't really fit into this narrative is this last one, because I did finish it with this apology video, but when Terry Funk died, I wanted to do a tribute to Terry Funk, and Terry Funk did one of these shirts with his enemies on it, so I wanted to do the same sort of thing. So in retrospect, I shouldn't have done that using Finn. I should have maybe used Travis or something. But I don't know, dude. So that last video kind of ruins the arc, kind of spoils the story a little bit. So if you could ignore that last video, this is a pretty good little arc over here. And I'm just left with a sad taste in my mouth that what if he actually did respond to that video with his audience? What if he actually did take me point by point and knock me down a little bit? What if he really did put me in my place? You know what I mean? He could have strong-armed me all around the internet, and he didn't take that opportunity. And I think he didn't want to take that opportunity for a couple reasons. First reason, he doesn't want to give me any flowers, okay? There's no way that he wants my channel to grow. He knows I'm the closest thing in the marketplace to his channel. And the second reason I think that he didn't say anything about this to his audience is he didn't want a Barbra Streisand effect himself. He didn't want to bring up the fact that he actually groomed someone. If he did that. I'm not saying that he did. Allegedly. But if he were to bring it up, that would bring up that part of the conversation. And if it was easy to refute, all he had to do was refute it. All he had to do was tell me that I didn't do any research, tell me that I looked at the surface level and just attacked him without any cause or need, you know? But he didn't go down that road. No, he instead threatened me and tried to take away my livelihood, okay? He tried to take away my money. He tried to reach into my pocket and take those 37,000 views away from me. That's what he tried to do, so I took that personally. Gosh darn it. So Finn, if there's any chance you watch this, I'm not actually sorry that this went down the way that it went down, because I don't think that I did anything wrong, you know what I mean? Yeah, the things that I said were a little bit crazy, but they were like that on purpose for you to react to, but you chose not to react to them. Instead, you cowered and ran away and threatened me and stuff. So Finn, right now it's your turn to apologize to me. And if this apology isn't as vociferous as the offense, then I don't even want to hear it, pal. Okay, and until my next upload, you can watch another upload. See you later.